Hey everybody, my name is Trace Martinez. I'm one of the pastors at Pillar Church of Oceanside. I'm here in Okinawa, Japan, celebrating a pretty monumental occasion, 10 years as a church. And so here at Okinawa, we had the privilege of just watching what God has done, as Oceanside's been sort of the sending church from a distance these 10 years ago, sending the Ransom family out here. It's been a total privilege and joy to watch what God has done, but also watch the people that God has used to sustain the work here and just pour themselves into that work. And one of those original sort of workhorses, if you will, is standing next to me, worship pastor, elder, just all around good dude is Grant. And I just wanted to bring you, in terms of updates of what's been going on here. As you look back over the last decade, really, of being here for the long haul, what are you celebrating? What are you kind of glorifying God over? And just share a little bit of your heart over the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and I'm sure it's the same in a lot of our churches, is just the PCS transitional nature of our ministry as people come in, people go. As much as that's a really hard thing, it's also a really amazing thing to be able to have people come through the doors, be discipled, hear the gospel, be trained up in how to take the gospel to the world, and then send them out on the government's dime. And it's been so many. We did a members meeting not too long ago at the beginning of the year, and we looked back over the year, and we had over like 700 people come through the doors in the year of 2025. And so it's just amazing how God uses us, as much as it hurts to see people go, but uses us to bring people in, equip them, and send them out. So that's a beautiful thing, but it's also a hard thing.
That's a staggering number to think, just this church alone, seeing that many people cycle through. But that's the mission. Like you said, that's what God has done and sustained over, a decade. Imagine what that number is. I'd be curious to know. But what are some ways, as this goes out as an update to all of the supporters of the Praetorian Project, how can we be praying from your perspective for the next 10 years? Like what sort of things can we be laboring with you guys for?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just discipleship, bringing people in, building them up in the gospel, helping and equip them to share the gospel, and really living life shoulder to shoulder. That's the big thing, is just we really desire that the people that come through this church would know Jesus, that they would live in community with each other, and then that they would be sent out to make him known. And so the biggest prayer request is community, building up community. There's lots of hurting families and hurting marriages and things like that, as in, I'm sure, all of the Praetorian Project churches in the nature of the military. But being a community, a home away from home, overseas, it's really hard as people move. In the States, they are away from family, but family's closer. Out here, the church is the family, and it's a beautiful thing to see, but it's also hard. And so we just pray that God would continue to use us to build up his family, and that we would be a family knitted together.
Praise God. Yeah, please add that to your prayer list. I know God moves that way, because every time I come here, that's something I'm struck by, is just the community and the connection, and the fellowship is just so great. But please continue to join us in prayer for all that God has done and continue to do. Just want to celebrate that. So thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
So I'm sitting here in the living room of Darren Pautz, and his family has graciously hosted me on my visit here. And a lot of you guys know that have been following the Praetorian Project, how challenging it is to plant a church, especially in a military community. Most churches don't really last past 5 years. So the fact that we're celebrating 10 years is very significant. One, because of the context around the community, but two, because this is in Okinawa, Japan.
Yeah.
It's completely different. It's far removed from any typical support that a church would get, really, from a sending church or any of those kinds of things. And so really want to highlight how God has really done some amazing things. And we've looked back over the last 10 years and just you're stepping in now in a pivotal moment as
Yeah.
the preaching teaching pastor here, sort of new. What does that transition look like for your family? How are you guys settling down here?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So overall context a little bit. I retired out of here from Okinawa in 2024. Went back to the States and went to Pillar Church of Jacksonville. Just try to continue to learn and grow as far as pastoral ministries.
Mm.
I was able to come back here on staff, which has been beautiful. We returned on September of 2025, and it has been just a sweet blessing of how the Lord has worked in the people here by welcoming us in and just really supporting us, caring for us more than what we probably ever deserve or even know. And has been a really just encouraging time to come back. And honestly, it feels like coming home.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a very smooth transition with the congregation, with the elder team, with the people here of Okinawa. Really, it's been a good transition.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you shared some of the amazing blessings God has bestowed upon you, and it's clear that a doorway is opened here, and it's a good thing.
Yes.
It's because there has been a little bit of a gap in leadership here, and now
Mhm.
you're stepping in, and as you do that, you have probably some ideas of where you see the church going. You know, we looked back a little bit over the last 10 years. Where do you see sort of the Lord leading this work here going forward?
Yeah. So with the highly transient nature here of Okinawa, because guys and families typically come here for a year to 3 months. Sometimes if we get like 3 years, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
What we always here want to try to continue to do, is build up disciples, train them up as best as we possibly can, and then send them out. And that's the overall vision for us here at the Pillar Church of Okinawa. And just continue that method of building leaders up and sending them out. And then hopefully one day we'll also build up another church planter here that we can have here, maybe on island, or just Japan, and mainland Japan would be really cool, because there's a lot of military communities in Japan that could use a gospel preaching church.
I love that idea. Yeah, and you guys have worked hard over the years to raise up Japanese church planters,
Yes.
Which is amazing. The fact that that's even happening is
Yes.
fantastic. So I love the idea of potentially in the future raising up another opportunity here of planting a pillar church somewhere in the mainland, perhaps. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's really
cool. We're just continue to build people up and see where the Lord's going to lead them. And hopefully Japan would be the next possibility idea.
Yeah,
You never know.
it's so amazing to look back and truly see what God has built here.
Yes.
I hear story after story of people that have been transformed, like really, really transformed by community, by the gospel, by being truly loved on and shepherded and discipled. And it's a huge important work that is going on here. I'm glad your guys are here now and your family feels connected and serving
Yes.
and living on mission, and uh, it's wonderful. I
Yeah.
love it. What are some of the ways that you feel like we could pray for you guys, your family, perhaps, or the work in general?
Yeah, that's good. I think for us, going to be the ones that home station now, and having people go. I don't know if we've truly experienced that yet. I know this summer is going to be a big transition. A lot of families are going to be moving. Be sending them out, right, to do the mission. I think that's going to be hard for us in a way, right? Because we built a lot of close relationships up. So it's going to be sad, but also like that's just kind of the thing here in Okinawa. We're just a highly transient nature. So I think that's one way to pray for us as well. The other one is just new families to come in, and for us to be able to share the gospel with them, to welcome them in, to be able to support them, because it's hard. Living here on an island, separated from family, is always a big struggle, and it's hard on marriages, it's hard on families. So just our overall church community with that, definitely be praying for in those aspects.
Yeah,
the two main reasons. Yeah, two main ways. Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that about a third of the congregation is looking at orders in the next couple of months, which is not uncommon.
Yes.
So yeah, bringing in new families is important, but God continues to do that
Absolutely,
again and again.
Yeah, it's such a fantastic community. People are sharing the gospel with their neighbors, coworkers, and just really trying to get them plugged into the local church. So then, right, we can train them up, disciple them, and then send them out.
Love it. Yeah. God has been faithful. The folks that have prayed for and supported financially the network by your incredible, gracious
Absolutely.
donations and gifts, we're just so grateful. And because of that, things like this are happening here in Japan. And just want to thank you guys for your commitment to moving back here and digging into the ministry and living on mission.
Yeah, we truly appreciate you, Trace, coming out too and supporting us. It's a huge encouragement for us.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Glad to be here. Be in prayer for Pillar Okinawa, and we love you. Thank you.